Hi, this is Suzanne Wachtel, and I have been working with people recently that are having a lot of issues, not recently, all the time, in my private life and in my practice, and the topic today is money, abundance, and a lack of sparsity. So actually, money is a very interesting topic, and I would say that people have the biggest issues with money, and money really is what? A frequency, a number on a paper, and the truth of the matter is that whether you have a lot of it or not enough of it, money is a problem emotionally, because I have worked with many people that have tons of money that feel like they don't have enough, and they feel like they're going to end up homeless and in poverty, and they're scared and they're fearful. So even though they look at a paper that tells them they have plenty of it, they don't feel abundant. And then I work with people that don't have a lot of money, don't really think about it, and they feel rich and prosperous and generous and full. So it's fascinating to me that money is really, if we trace it back, is sometimes related to our original experiences with money. So there's a story that I tell, and I'm going to tell you today, and it's about two scenarios, and they both relate to money and how people end up feeling about the money in their life from that day forward. So there's a little boy and a little girl. Maybe he's 9 and she's 5. A brother and a sister, and they go together to the beach, and they go to look for shells. So the little boy takes his little sister, and they pick up a bunch of shells, like treasure hunting. And on their way home, they walk through the town, and they pass the front. It's a toy store, and in the window, they're looking in the window together. The little girl sees a doll, and she says to her brother, I love that doll. I love that doll. Wow. And he says to his little sister, come on, let's go inside and find out how much it costs. She's like, yay. They walk into the store, and that particular day, the owner of the store was there. And they said, sir, could we please see the doll in the window? And he said, certainly. And he takes it out from the front window, and the little girl is in awe looking up at this doll. And the man says to her, would you like to hold the doll? And she holds the doll. And she said, oh my God, I would love to have this doll. And the little boy says proudly to the man, how much would it cost to buy my sister the doll? The man looks down at him and he says, well, how much do you have? Oh, and very excited, the little boy reaches into his pocket and pulls out his 5 most treasured shells that he had found that day on the beach. And he places them on the counter with great pride. And they look up at the man eagerly, and the man looks down at the two of them, and he says, well, young man, not only do you have enough, you have too much. And he hands him back 2 of his treasured shells, takes 3, and says, you can buy your sister this doll. Oh my God. They leave the store excited and thrilled beyond belief. Now, that was their first experience with the exchange of money and the feeling of abundance and pride. Now, the second story is that the little boy and the little girl are off to the beach to collect shells. On the way back from the beach, they once again pass the window of the toy store, and the little girl is all excited. I love that doll. Oh my God, look at that doll in the window. And the little boy looks at her and he says, come on, let's go check it out. Let's go see how much it would cost to get you that doll. They walk in, and this particular day there was an employee there. An employee who was angry and cranky and who just did not feel abundant at all. And the little boy says to the man, can we please see the doll? And he looks at it and goes, well, yeah, you could see it, but you certainly can't afford it. And already he started to shame them. So he takes the doll out of the window and he hands it to the little girl, and she's all excited, noticing every detail about the doll. And once again, the little boy says to the man, "How much would it cost to buy my sister this doll?" And he says, "Well, what do you have? You don't have any money." He says, "No, but I have these beautiful shells." And he takes out his shells proudly and places them on the counter. And the man laughs in their face. "You jerky kids, you can't afford this. Now get out of here and scram." And he shamed them. He made them feel terrible, like losers, that they didn't have enough and they didn't deserve anything. And they left that store so sad and feeling so less than. And money became something of shame and not enough of, and a very negative experience. So the reason I tell in great detail these two scenarios of the children and the doll is because many of us, when it's related to money, not realizing if we grew up in poverty, or perhaps we grew up with a family that just didn't feel abundant, and they always made you feel like you didn't deserve something or you didn't have enough, and left you feeling like everybody else had more than you, and that the idea that you didn't have as much or enough, even if it was just an idea, not the truth, left you with a feeling of shame and fear and inadequacy. So money is a very important part of our lives. We obviously need it to pay for things, to take care of ourselves, for the basics, right? Food, shelter, we work for it. But somewhere in our ideology, in our minds, we have to develop a healthy relationship with money, whether we have a ton of it or we don't have enough of it. We still can be grateful and feel that we deserve and that we can have a healthy relationship with money. So I think it's super important to really tell ourselves that we have enough, we are enough. And if we live within our means, we don't have to be afraid ever of running out of it. And even people that do run out of money, right? They find a way. They find a way to feed themselves and house themselves. It just seems to always, one way or another, work out. And it just occurred to me today, because I work with so many people, and no matter what their status, whether they have millions in the bank or very little, they always are thinking and expressing to me that they feel like they don't have enough. And they're scared of running out of money and being homeless and being starving. And, we're alive here and now. We're here and now. And if we are healthy and able to not take some money, obviously affordable, and enjoy your life and be only afraid of not having enough one day in the imaginary future, to me is a terrible way to live. I don't condone it. I'm not saying that you should not live within your means and you should not obviously, save for that rainy day. But if you're only saving for that rainy day, you're really depriving yourself of enjoying your life as you are now. So to not go on the trip while you're able to breathe and talk and walk, and then in the future perhaps you have an accident and you can't do it ever again, you didn't take that action or spend the money to really go for it. Money basically gives you freedom. Freedom to make choices, freedom to go and do, freedom to live without fear. So my saying for today is, take a deep breath, let it out. I am going to feel abundant. I am going to feel like I have enough. I am going to feel that I'm valuable. I am going to not have fear. I'm going to feel safe and I'm going to feel fulfilled. So, when it comes to money, please give yourself the gift of abundance, even if it's just in your mind. If you can't afford that trip today, you can afford to design it. You can afford to look up places and ideas of where you would like to go when you can afford it. If you're in a place of having less right now, think of things you can do that don't cost anything, right? That feel loving, like go to the beach, look at the ocean, look at the sky. Like just take time to do things that fill you up. Breath work, dancing like no one's watching. Not everything has to be expensive to be wonderful, and not everything has to be free to be done. So live it up, enjoy your lives, and start thinking abundantly. And the truth of the matter is, I believe in energy work, that we attract what we think. So when we feel abundant, when we think abundantly, typically we attract it. All of a sudden the phone rings, that job you wanted is there, or somebody bought you a present. It's amazing how when you think abundantly, you attract it. And when you think poverty and feel poverty, the doors are closed to you. So be careful what you think. This is powerful stuff. But abundance is the way to think and the way to go if you want to attract a wonderfully abundant, rich life. Have a wonderful day. And that's it for now, folks. Take care. Bye-bye.